All right, we're playing some friendlies here with Scott from the Kings of Golf 2. Just out on the course. Here we go. Get in the hole. Let's see what we can get going this morning. I haven't had any coffee. I'm still half asleep. That's the deal. I should get up while I'm sitting here and go make some coffee. Let's see what bag what we have available to us. See if I have a guardian. I like playing this hole with my wood as a guardian. It doesn't really matter when you're playing 1-on-1. Oh, excuse me. Uh-oh. Way down there. Let's see what my bag options are. All right, that's good. That's good. That'll work. That'll work. A dog will hunt. See if I can stay out of the rough. It's 2.1 per ring. About a ring. Isn't it perfect? Just bounce it over. See if I can stay out of the rough. Let's see if Scott. Oh, yeah, I definitely need coffee. Let's see. Let's see if Scott's going to go for the rough bump, or if he's going to do the. He's got a Saturn, so he'll be able to backspin it up there. If you got a Grim Reaper 6 in your bag, Grim Reaper 6 is a 100% accurate, or excuse me, 100% backspin long iron. At level 6, it gets more accuracy than the Saturn as well. And I think it has better ball guide. Close. Close. Here we go. See if I can come out that way. I think I'm not thinking with that at all. No way. I'm not falling for that trick. See where my bounces are at. Go 2.5. It's 1.2 per ring, so there's 2.4. So we're right at 2 rings. Put some curl on it, bring it back towards the cup. Hitting it perfect. See if I got my curl right and my distance. Ooh, just a little far. I've hit several of those over the last 2.5 years, but that's definitely not a high percentage shot. It's not one of those things that you're going to make on a regular basis. See if we can, how we can do in the shootout. See if we can get, I'm looking for one of the Namhai cliffs. Which one is it here? I got it wrote down. Hole 6, par 3. Let's see if we can get that one. Get in the hole. I think this is the first time I played friendlies with Scott. We'll see how bad he can kick my butt. This is not the one we're looking for, but I get this one and the one I'm looking for confused all the time. I can tell you that. Let's check out Scott. Played some tourneys. That's what we're talking about. See if joining the team we can get some info and get you some banners there, Scott. I know that this hole takes very little adjustment. And there's a mogul there to the right. If you hit that mogul, it'll kind of funnel it towards the cup if you got your speed right. If you have your speed wrong, you can roll off the back of this green really easy. Like, watch how much that rolls. And way it keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. You want to either be in the hole or just a little short of the hole. This is definitely one of those holes that will cause you problems if you overshoot it. See if I can get it going towards the cup. There we go. 4. I'm going to do 5-2. So there's 4-8. Yeah, that was 4-4. Isn't it perfect? I have no idea what I did for a wind adjustment there. I got it wrong. But it was close enough. 0.49. This is definitely one of those holes. I don't know how many times I've been, just like Scott, I've been like right next to the cup, and then you got that little teeny bit of speed, and then all of a sudden you're 10 yards away from the hole rolling off the back. Sakura Hills, hole 6, par 5. Even though I've been playing Tour 3 all week, I can't remember any of these holes until I get on them. It's 2 per ring. 2.1. Who's counting? Little teeny bit of curl. Hit it 1 ring great to the left, which have no bearing. Just lay it up there. See if I can get into my if I can get into that rough bump range if the wind's blowing right. Trying to avoid using the island if I can. When I originally started playing, there was only the island. I didn't think about those rough bumps. If you're playing from the upper tees, going around on the other side is an option. But in Ricky, this way right here is the way. I better close our eyes on that. Yeah, you might be all right. If you can reach this island, you can get over. Just depending on what clubs you have in your bag, but there's a good chance. So it's 1.7 per ring at min. So we're at about min club. Which way's the wind blowing? 1.7. There's 3 4s too. 3 4. I'm gonna go. Those rings are distorted there, so I'm trying to extrapolate like where the ring is actually at and where it's distorted. And I find that when you're taking those kind of shots, it's better to not pull too far out into the sand. I had plenty of room on the right-hand side with the rough, so when you're playing a one-on-one, it's more important to get on the green than it is to try and sink that shot. This is a good hole for a hammerhead because you can do that second bounce rough bump right there, and you can get it right at the cup. So if you make a really good wind adjustment, I'm not sure if the hammerhead at level 5 is 100% accurate. It's probably pretty close. It's a max club, so it's going to be somewhere in the 3.5 ring range. Let's see. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. That was about 3.8, somewhere in that neighborhood. And that's probably about right. Second bounce. Clips the rough. Nice shot. Nice shot. That's that right there. If you don't know how to adjust for your wind ring numbers, that's the kind of shot right there that will be very, very tricky. Occasionally you'll hit it, but you'll probably miss it more often than not. So knowing your wind ring numbers, being able to make those types of adjustments, not trying to get crazy, not trying to make the club do something that it can't do, using your equipment to its best. It's a draw. All right, let's see if we can get this Nam-High Cliffs hole that I'm looking for. And this is the one. I'm trying to get a good video of this hole right here. This is coming up for the 2020 Community Cup. You can swing out here a little bit and get a little bit better angle. I'm trying to find a spot, like putting my ball guide up against the... I think it rolls off. I'm going to do 3 backspin. We'll see how that works. I'm going to do a 30% wind adjustment. So that's going to be 3.9, 3.8, 100% accurate club. So we're in that neighborhood right there. Ah, hit it one ring great to the right. I'm trying to find some spot out there where I can go back to that spot instead of setting it up out there in the clear where you don't, the next time you come here, it's like, okay, where is it? I'm trying to find a spot out there that I can move it to that spot and then dial it in. And I know that I'm in the range. So on that hole right there, we got a white ring, off rough, 3 backspin. Trying to find some spot that's consistent. I think I like moving it over there to the left and coming at it that way because you've got more. If you epic fail, if you get your speed right, you're more apt to either be in front or right there to the left of the cup because it's flatter. But if you come at it with too much, and you roll off that right-hand side, it's very easy to get in trouble. Nice shot. I think my theme this week is get your distance right, because that's one of those ones where if the distance on there would have been right, that would have been, I would have got beat right there. So if you think about where you're at from the closest that you came to the cup in a shootout, if your ball stopped at that moment, how many shootouts you would win. And I will tell you that I'm going to shoot straight forward because I want to look at that shot coming from down here, because if you get over to the other side, you do have a nice little bounce off the island. You can try and work yourself. The last time I was here, I tried to do a max overpower hook shot and I got it wrong, and I ended up out on this area. I was playing against our team president Mike D, and then I sank it from out there. Let's see if there is a max overpower hook shot here. See if we can find it. See if I can remember where I was last time. I went too far to the right. I needed to be in about 2 or 3 rings. I'm just wondering if with an extra mile, I might not be able to just curl it over there. Maybe. Let's try that. 4-2, that's 2 rings. I'm going to go a little more. Might help me. Let's see if I can. Oh, and I hit it 1 ring great on the right. I don't think I had any room on the right. With an apocalypse, that's the shot right there. I'm going to switch to an APOC. Oh, don't worry, Scott. You better put that in the cup because I'm going to get over in and I'm going to sink that sucker. I got you covered like a Jimmy hat. I'm going to try that with an APOC because I think an Apocalypse would probably be a better deal there with all of the curl that an Apocalypse has. I never really thought about just bouncing over, seeing if I could get over the sand on the other side. See if you can get it up there and in the hole. Once again, that was nice. It's all about speed. Let's see if we can get that same shot done with our Apocalypse. I don't think I can. It doesn't have as much of the topspin, so it's not going to be as nice of a shot there. See if I can hoppity hop, if I can get my bounces right. 4-2, 1.6, there's 3-2. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if I got my bounces right. I think it carries a little bit too far down in that hole, and I think I'm going to end up in this. I should have just went for the max overpower hook shot. What was I thinking? Trying to see if it would work from those spots. Those spots are a little problematic. There's probably 4 ways, like normal ways to go with this. You can hit it straight forward. You can try and bounce it over the sand. You can lay it up in front of the sand, or you can try and get over and lay it up to the left so that you got a better view of that island. All right. The whole deal here is we want to end up at the cup. So there's 1-5. You need to put some curl on it. And at 2 rings great to the right. And we're on the fringe. Does that go fringe to rough? I think that does go fringe to rough. I don't think there's a fairway there. From that distance right there, wind is not a factor. So if you hit that great to the left, you're off the cup. Perfect. You can see where it rolled in right where the ball guide was. So when you're that close, if you set it up off the cuff and you hit, if you were right at the flagpole and hit it great to the left or the right or perfect, it's in the cup. But on that one, if you're off, and I got the wind with me, and at this distance, wind might barely be a factor. But the wind's going, the wind's going with me, so I just need to hit this perfect. Gonna hit it great to the right. And we're still in that distance where if you're aimed at the flagpole and wind's not a factor, it'll go in the cup on the left or the right. Close. Close. It was rolling off onto that rough off the green right there that saved me. Dinking around. All right, I like this hole, and I'm refamiliarizing myself with that. If the wind's blowing right, I'm going to try. The wind is marginally blowing right, the right direction. I'm going to try the rough bump in the front. There is a rough bump that you can do from right here. That's the rough bump. And it's like max side spin, a couple top spin. about 2 topspin. And I would do a 20% wind adjustment. So that'd be a 5 ring pull. So on this club, it would be 2.5 rings. We'll see if that's enough curl. This hole, the ball guide's lying. If you don't put any curl on it, it tends to want to fly straight. I'm going to see if I can get that that area in the front to do that rough bump. Because if the wind's blowing right, this is probably the best way. See if I'm where I'm at in my club. Oh, man, I'm just barely have a window. So that's about a ring and a half into power. So that's a 4/8. I'm gonna take 4 out. Let's get lined up correctly. See if the wind adjustment over there, the 20% works. Hitting a 1 ring grate to the left. And over there, you may not have to do the 20% wind adjustment. So that was an overpull right there. And I left 8 of the wind in. I only took out 4. Good game. That's the thing about taking shots in the games where people post out stuff and they go, hey, here's the sheet for the week and this is what you do. But that doesn't tell you where they're taking that shot. And if you're taking a shot from a different side, like that hole right there, there's 4 different ways that you can come at that hole. You can go off the back island. You can do the rough bump that Scott did. You can bring a Guardian and stick it on the green. Or you can try the rough bump that I did. So all 4 of those places are going to have a little bit different reaction. And so you go out there with the best of intentions and you go, hey, we're supposed to do a 20% wind adjustment. And then you're in a different spot. And that 20% wind adjustment might not be the right wind adjustment for that spot. That's why I take all that stuff with a grain of salt. I look at it, it kind of gives me an idea that people are thinking about the fact that there's some kind of an adjustment we need to make. But I usually like to try and figure that stuff out for myself. And so there's the progression. And with that wind, I'm just going to lay it up. It's 2, 4, 3 is about 2.5 rings. And I hit it great to the left. Great to the right, great to the left. Try to stay out of that rough. I've taken the shot. I like this hole. I've taken the shot from up there at the top of the hill. When you first start, you never want to mess with that island unless you're in tournaments. Because in a tournament, you'll bring out a bigger ball and you'll bring out now we have multiple bags, so it's easier to bring out the right club. But you've got to bring out, depending on which way the wind's blowing, you'll have to bring out a big wind or a bigger ball. And it is a very tricky shot over there. I think the last time we played this in a tournament, it took me the whole freaking tournament to figure out that for what I was doing and the shot that I was doing, I was actually letting the wind carry me. I was letting about 3 miles an hour of the wind carry me into the middle of that fairway, and it only took a couple topspin to get me up to where I wanted to be, like right at the cup. But it's very easy on that shot to end up either short or blowing it past it, and you do not want to be long on this hole because you can't make the putt. Okay, where are we at in club? There's max. There's min. So there's mid. So we're right at mid club. That's 1.9 per ring. That's how I play it. right at it. 1.9 per ring, so there's 2, 4. That leaves me 2. That leaves me 4. It's about a quarter. I hit it great to the left. If I was going to hit it great one way or the other and it's still going, it's great to the left because there might have been a wind adjustment that I didn't do there. There definitely was. And it was playing more like it was more towards max club. Although if I'd have did a 20% wind adjustment there and it was way downhill, I'd have been, it might have been playing more towards max club. Even though it was clearly in mid. In the hole. I need coffee. I'm going to finish this cigarette and go get coffee. Let's see how the shootout goes here. Let's see which one of the shootouts. Let's see if we can get the one again. The one we're looking for. I want to see if I can replicate that shot. Oh, we're on the island hole. 10% wind adjustment. Be curious to see what Scott's clubs look like with a hammerhead 5. It took me forever to get a hammerhead 5. I mean, a hammerhead, it's one of the things about this game that mystifies me is the club card thing. Like there's some clubs that you get. I know that the hammerhead is an epic, but it's a Tour 4 club. And you would think that it would go up in levels faster. I think I got my hammerhead right off the bat in Tour 4. It took me 2 years to get my Apocalypse. I've got my Apocalypse to level 4, and I think my hammerhead's only level 5. And I've definitely played a lot of rookie tours, demo and holes. I like to be right about in that area right there. A 4 backspin, going right at it. Trying to land on that thing. So we're at 2. It's a 2-2. It's 1.2. There's 2-4. So we're a little shy of 2 rings. And hit it great to the left. Let's see if I got my distance right. That's what's important. And my distance was that was the closest that I came to the hole. Since I was short. Out on the golf course, my buddies would be giving me a hard time. Hey, is your husband in the group behind us? I went out one day up in Seattle. I was playing up there. I was working up in Seattle, and I went out to a driving range one day and jumped out on the course. Went up there and hit some balls for about an hour, and then jumped out on the course. And there was a girl out there playing. She was a little teeny thing too. I mean, 100 pounds wet, and she was smacking the hell out of that ball. There was 4 of us in the group, and she was definitely the best one of the group. She was a very good golfer. Very good. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if I got that right and get up there on that upper platform in those shadows. That's the deal. It's important if you're trying to get, if you want, I brought a big dog, so if the wind's blowing right, I've got an opportunity to get on, but you don't really have an opportunity to get on unless you're up on that platform. It's better to be in the shadows, that little bit of distance, but if you're up on the platform, you've got a shot at it. If you're not on that platform, unless you've got a really big wind, you don't have a shot at it. Dropping my sunglasses. Here we go. Let's see if Scott can get that, if he got that top spin right. I know with that big topper, it takes about 2 less than max top spin, however much that is. There you go. Perfect. So if your secondary club right here is a big dog, you got a shot. If the wind's blowing right. Yeah, that's not too bad. Could be better, could be worse. Right in that neighborhood. Isn't it perfect? See if I got enough curl on there to drift me down onto the fairway. You can't, that's the deal, is I only carry a big dog in one of my bags, and it's the bag with the big topper. Those clubs are very complementary of each other. And so on some of these holes, I'll bring out that big topper. If you're like, why are you bringing out a big topper instead of playing with your extra mile? Because I know that the second shot, you need that big dog. And it is the only club that'll get it done. Unless you've got some upper developed stuff and you got a Cataclysm or you got a maxed out Guardian. We'll get the old Keurig machine working here and see if we can get some coffee. Now I'll start playing better if I get some caffeine in me. Now we'll see if Scott can get that done up on the top of that hill. I've never had any luck getting up on the top of that hill and trying to get it to roll down. Let's see if we can get it done. It'll roll, but there's an out of bounds. Let's see if we can put all the backspin on our rapier and see if we can dunk this. These dunks are a little harder than they used to be because if you hit that flagpole, you'll bounce off. It used to go in the cup a lot easier. Oh, I hit it great to the left. Oh, close enough that I made it. You could only get that. You could only make a dunk with a great to the left with a rapier. Usually, when you're taking those dunks, if you don't hit it perfect, you don't have any shot, unless you totally blew the wind adjustment. I sat on this hole one day and did shots up there from the top. It's too easy to get caught in that. And you can get over there and stick it up there in that out of bounds area. Pretty easy. But it's just really difficult to get it to roll far enough down that hill in that thick rough. Game. All right, here we go. Drinking some coffee now, Scott. You're in big, big trouble. What are we on here? Oh, I love this hole. I want to make sure I take whatever bag I got a Saturn. You don't have to get out there very far. That looks like a good spot right there. It's about 1.9 per ring. So we're a little over a ring. Put some curl on it to bring it back to the fairway. Hitting it perfect. Just try and bounce it over that sand and just get it out there in the middle of the fairway. I want to get into my Saturn range so that I can do the dunk here. This is a hole that every single time I come to it, I try that dunk, except in tournaments, because in tournaments we're using different stuff, and I'm trying to get way up there. You can try and thread the needle and get on in one, but it's a dangerous shot with the water on the right and the sand on the left. I typically end up right up there up against the edge of that sand trap. I've been on in one, and I've been on the fringe a couple times. But I wasn't really trying to get on the fringe. I was trying to just get up there by that sand trap because I didn't want to have to try and weave my way through that little gap at the very end of the run. All right, here we go. This is one of the fun shots in this game. So thorn. So I'm in minimum Saturn. It's 3 per ring. Going right at the cup. Okay, so there's 3. So we're about a 1/6 off of that. It's super important to hit this perfect. Hitting it perfect. Give myself a look at it. Get in the hole. The other day I hit it about that far to the left, and then I came on here again and I hit about that far to the right, and then today I'm that far in front. So I'm 0 for 3 so far. The thing is, if you come there and you use all that backspin, you put all the backspin on whatever club it is that you've got, it'll roll. It's got that big backboard on there, and it'll just roll right back down to the cup. So then you'll have a putt. Easy breezy. Some of these holes in these lower tours are so much fun. I know if you're new and you're down here playing these holes, they may not seem like they're fun, but they really are a lot of fun. A lot of fun just going out and playing the game. See if I can get that in the hole. I was pretty nonchalant about that for myself. Those shots, those putts where you're trying to go straight at the cup and it's bringing it at an angle. Some of those shots can be, and so on some of the older holes where they had a lot of movement on these greens where they were really steep like this, you can get some of those that are super wild. All right. See if I can remember how much topspin or backspin to put on this. I think we were using some backspin on this. So it's a grizzly shot, Saturn shot. Just trying to walk it to the cup. So if I was using a little bit of backspin. Which way is the wind blowing? Might roll, float down to it. 3-4 to 1.9 per ring. There's 3-8. A little shy of that. Hitting it perfect. See if I got that topspin right or backspin right. Roll it up to the cup. The distance. That's going to be the motto of the week. Distance on these shootouts. Everybody talks about doing the shootouts and doing the stuff. I will tell you that I think the number one most important thing on these shootouts is distance. If you get your distance right, so that the shortest distance that you were away from the cup is where you actually ended up, you will win more shootouts. Hitting it perfect is awesome, but if you have your distance right, even if you hit it great to the left or the right, you're going to win a lot of these shootouts. Let's see how many rings he goes. It's a 2-ring pull. That's about 3/8. That was with a wind adjustment. You can see how close he was right there when it went by. That would have been real close. All right, let's see if he wants to keep playing. All right, Scott. Got a player. Got somebody who wants to replay. If you can't get replays in the general community, you got to go play your friends. That's what's the deal about it. And we can only replay. I do not understand what Playdemic's issue is, especially when we have clans that have. And I saw a shot here the other day, and I want to check this shot out. Like, where does that put me as far as? See what kind of distance I've got to the second bounce. Whether I can do a second bounce rough bump and just bleed out here in front and not have to bring out some big ball. And get down in here and put some curl on it and see what the deal is. It's going to be a pain with this headwind, but and I mishit that. I was running out of time dinking around looking at it. And it's going to get caught up in those trees. Wow is right. I can't believe it didn't get caught in that sand. It skipped across it. It was going so flat. The trajectory was so flat. That was not what I was trying to do. What I was trying to do was see if I could rough bump it off of this rough right here, right in front of this sand, and just bleed right out in front. An Apocalypse probably would have been a better, well, no, what would have been better there? No club would have helped me out as far as visual. What it would have taken is like a Quasar or a Katana or something that had side spin on it so that I could see. But the deal is I had to put so much top spin on there, I wouldn't have been able to utilize all of the side spin. Nice shot. That was a nice shot, even though he ended up in the rough right there. That was a very nice shot getting around that corner. Okay, there's minimum club. So what's minimum with a thorn? It's 2, 3, 5, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's 3, 5. So that's just a minute adjustment there. I mean, not even a third of a ring. Oh, that was anticipation. Anticipation. But my distance was good. I'm always excited about distance. If you haven't been able to tell from watching my videos this week, and I've been harping on the distance thing, I'm always excited if I get my distance right. So, I mean, you can't learn anything as far as like what adjustments you need to make to get into the cup when you hit it greater to the left or the right. But what you can learn is distance. So getting your distance right is key. Let's go after this game, I'm gonna step out. We'll clear all of our chests off. So while we're out here playing, we're still getting chests. You always want to be opening chests. I know I talk about that a lot too. It's just so important when you're out here playing that every time you do win, you want to have a slot. You want to be working on your clubs. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, we're out here playing, we're trying to win, you may be working on trying to get your coin count up, but because you want to go up in tours, but you want to go up in tours and you want to take some better clubs with you when you go up there. So always be opening chests. With this little bit of headwind, I'm going to put just a titch of topspin on it. And that might be too much topspin. 2 miles an hour, that's a ring. Try and hit it perfect. Hit it one ring great to the right. See if it'll float down there to it. Always trying to get your distance right. The deal is that I don't hit perfect. I don't hit perfect all the time. And there's sometimes when I'm on a perfect streak and I may hit a bunch of perfects in a row and I'm just like on fire. And then there's times when I couldn't hit a perfect. I couldn't, you know that old saying, like you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn? I can't even find the farm where the barn's at. But if you have your distance right, you'll still be close. And part of that's, I haven't played these holes. This week. I haven't been down here playing these holes for a long time, but it takes a couple times to remember, like, you know, kind of what we're doing on them and where you set up. One of the things that's easy for me for setting up these shots is that I'm always on straightforward shots. I'm always 2 rings off transitional surfaces. And if I'm using big curl, I'm always 3 rings off transitional surfaces. Oh, nice shot. That is nice. Crowd goes wild. Get in the hole. And so when I come on these holes and I'm looking at, like, where do you set it up? If you're unless you're in one of those areas where you're just out in the wide open, I know how I set shots up, and I'm always a couple rings off transitional surfaces. So it's real easy for me to at least get back in the spot, and then I'm just working with topspin, backspin, trying to figure out exactly where I'm at. So it usually only takes 1 or 2 times of playing them, and then I'm back in the groove again. Let's open up some slots. Let's see how long we got on this video. 48 minutes. I'm going to stop this one, and I'll start another one. Thanks for watching. Just some T3 friends.